You know what's dangerous? When you start believing the hype. When you start looking back at what you did and thinking that's enough. I ran that ultra marathon. I went through Hell Week. I dropped the weight. I changed my life. Cool story. But that version of you, that was yesterday. The moment you hang your hat on that, the moment you start saying, I'm good, you're done. You flatline. You've convinced yourself that who you used to be is still who you are. But that's not how growth works. That's not how the mind works. People always ask me, Goggins, why are you still doing this shot? Why are you out here running in the freezing cold, still pushing, still grinding like you're broke, like nobody knows your name? Because I know something most people don't want to accept. Growth doesn't come from a paycheck. Growth doesn't come from success. It doesn't come from the applause, the podcast interviews, the viral clips. It comes from discomfort. From that dark place where you question why you're even out there. When it's 20 degrees outside and you're making $12 an hour and no one's watching. When your body's shivering, your teeth are grinding, and your mind is screaming, you don't need this. That's where the growth is. See, I never gave a damn about the money. I don't care about the big corporate speaking fees or the attention. That stuff don't move me. That's not what built Goggins. What built Goggins was the grind, the repetition, the constant battle with myself when no one else saw it. I don't chase the check. I chase the fight. People get that twisted. They think the mission is the brand, the books, the followers. Nah, the real mission is invisible. It's in the reps. It's in those quiet, cold mornings when every cell in your body tells you to quit and you lace up anyway. That's why I wrote another book. Not because I wanted to ride the wave of the first one, not because I needed to prove anything to anybody. The first book, that was just the bachelor's degree. That was the intro. That was me saying, here's who I am. Here's what I came through. But never finished. That's the real message. That's the graduate course in suffering. That's the class nobody wants to sign up for. People see me now and think I'm just some lunatic who runs and screams and curses. They don't see the thought behind it. They don't see the evolution. They don't see the pain, the intention, the craft. And that's the problem with success. It blinds you. It puts a mask on you. Suddenly you start living in the image people have of you. Instead of living in the trenches that made you, they see a 1-minute clip on social media and they think that's me. Oh, he's just loud, intense, full of rage. Nah, there's layers here. There's scars here. And behind all of that, there's work. Because none of this is automatic. You think I wake up every day like Rocky? You think I roll out of bed with music playing, the sun shining, ready to conquer the world? No. I wake up in silence. I wake up stiff, tired, beat down, like everybody else. But I choose to keep going. I choose the uncomfortable route because I know the process is never finished. Let me say that again for the ones in the back. The process is never finished. The minute you think you've arrived, you've already started falling. Success makes you soft if you don't watch it. It lulls you to sleep. You start doing podcasts instead of pull-ups. You start hearing your own voice more than you hear the pain. You start talking about the grind instead of living it. And I don't want that. So I cap my own success. I pull back. I isolate. I stop showing up in places where people expect me to be because I know where my knowledge comes from. It ain't from panels. It's not from green rooms. It's from the dirt, the cold, the suffering. That's why I still go back to the fight line. That's why I put myself in positions where I don't want to be, because I'm not done yet. I can't just say, well, look at my resume. I ran this, I did that, I got to try it, and I wrote the book. So what? That's history. People look at their highlight reel and think it buys them peace. But you know what happens when you do that? You start slipping. And I can't afford to slip, not because I'm scared of failing, but because my mission is to make people better. And how the hell can I do that if I'm not getting better myself? How can I ask you to face your demons if I'm hiding from mine? That's why I keep pushing. That's why I keep reinventing the wheel of the mind. I don't believe in cookie cutter motivation. That kind of shut might hit 5 people and miss 20. That's a fail to me. My message has to evolve because I have to evolve. Every single time I think I figured it all out, I throw myself back into the fire. Not because I'm addicted to suffering, but because that's where the truth is. You don't evolve unless you cut yourself somewhere. You don't evolve when it's comfortable. You evolve when your back's against the wall, and the only way forward is through your own damn excuses. So I strip away the noise. I cut out social media. I stopped doing podcasts. I stopped reading my own press because I know that if I let it get in my head, if I let that success marinate too long, it'll soften me. And I can't be soft, not when people are counting on me. Not when there are people out there suffering, looking for a message that doesn't come from some guy in a suit, but from a warrior who's still in the fight.
So I train humility. I train my mind to ignore the praise. I train myself to remember that everything I've built came from the struggle, not from comfort, not from convenience. And that's why I still go back to the fire, because the fire is honest. It doesn't care who you are. It doesn't care how many followers you have. It doesn't care about your resume. The fire only answers one question. Are you willing to suffer again? Are you willing to get back to the place that built you? That's the only way forward. So no, I can't just say I did it once, I'm good. Because if I say that, then I've already lost.